I was planning to use this lift and release system to string up some Christmas lights around the trees, but I vastly underestimated the ability of the Mini 4 Pro. And crashed it. So what happened was it went up to a certain height. It didn't stabilise, and I think maybe the object detection wasn't operating properly because it just kept rising. And then when it eventually kind of stabilised at a height, it just started going down and landing of its own accord. And I wasn't able to correct it before it slipped off the table. So damage to one of the props, a nick out of the leading edge of the prop, as you can see there, and a lot of cobwebs and so forth, crap on the blades and rotor, and also these rubber end caps are kind of torn and ripped. So I've gone and pulled off as much of the debris as I could, and honestly the damage didn't seem too bad, and in fact I did fly it before replacing the props. It flew fine, no dramas, so there's not major damage, but I just thought it'd be a good idea to replace both those first two props and these other ones as well. The blades themselves look fine, but the rubber tip, orange rubber tip on the end has kind of lifted a little bit, and I just thought it wouldn't be ideal. So I decided to replace the two front sets of props. The rears are fine, there's no drama at all with them. A bit of debris on the back, but no damage. Yes, the chip. So you can see with the blades you've got two types. You've got the A and the B. This is the A set. They go on the front right and rear left, facing in the direction of the drone. I'm just double checking there that the rubber's okay, and that's where I decided that I was going to replace that pair, just because that rubber's lifted a little. Whereas on the rears it's fine. I did decide to keep these two blades as spares, because if the worst comes to worst and I get down to my last pair and one gets broken, at least I do have spares, even though they're not ideal. These though I wouldn't want to use again. I threw these two away. Okay, now here you'll see, so that you can use a little packet to match. It has a diagram of the drone. It shows you where each set go, but you can also tell by looking at this little notch in the arms. So on the A set, there's a notch, little half moon or little curve, whatever you want to call it. Whereas on the other side, on the other diametrically opposed pair, there's nothing. So you've got either a mark or no mark to indicate which arm the propellers go on. And if you get that wrong, it won't fly properly. So basically, the way it works is you have each diametrically opposed rotor spins in the same direction, and the other pair of diametrically opposed rotors spins in the opposite direction. And to keep the thrust going in the same direction, the pitch of the blades is opposite. So the A set of blades is pitched one direction, and the B set of blades are pitched in the other direction. So that way, even though the diametrically opposed arms are spinning in opposite directions compared to the other set of diametrically opposed arms, they're still producing the same direction thrust. And the reason they're diametrically opposed like that is to aid in stability and to make it easier to maintain level flight. If all the props are going in the same direction with the same pitch, then it'd be very easy to upset and very difficult for the microprocessor to keep everything balanced. Diametrically opposed, so you basically that way on each side, because the props, so on any given side, the props are spinning in a different direction. They work against each other, or rather they balance each other out to keep it level. If all the props are going in the same direction, the craft could flip a lot easier. So it's pretty ingenious actually how it works, but it definitely provides for more stable flight. And if you put the wrong set of props on the wrong arm, then obviously, because the pitch of the blade is different, it's going to push down instead of up, or vice versa, and you're just going to have the craft flip over or somersault. So you definitely need to get those blades right. Okay, when you're screwing it down, you want to screw down until it stops. So it will be reasonably firm, but not super tight. We just tighten it down, tighten the screw down until you feel a hard stop, and then stop. Don't go any further than that. You don't need to do these super tight, you just need to get it down to the stop. Once it stops turning, don't push it any further than that. But do make sure you get it all the way down, otherwise it'll be loose. And I mean, it'll have up and down motion. You want the sideways motion to be free, but you don't want any up and down motion on the shaft. So here we go. You can see there's a blue for B and white for A. So now we're going to the other side. We're going to go with the B props. And you can see how it shows you with a little diagram where it's supposed to go. And also remembering that on this side there's no half moon mark on the prop or arm, it's blank. So that's another way to verify you've got the right ones. Just put those back in the, the old packet. There's 3 screws in it for each 2 props. So what I've done is I've kept the 2 spare screws out of the 2 packs of props to keep for the old props that I'm keeping. So keeping the old props from this side in case I can use them later, but I'm not keeping the old screws. I'll use the extra screws that came in the packet with the new props. So if I ever need to use those old props, and hopefully I won't, I'll at least be using brand new screws. Of course, make sure you put the props the right side up, otherwise they'll cancel each other out with lift. So the direction of lift, or the direction of thrust, is determined by the direction of the rotor and the pitch of the blade. So if you've got one of the blades upside down, then it'll be producing opposite thrust to the other blade. It'll cancel each other out. Keeping the 2 new screws. And put them in the packet with the old blades. And that's it. Just one last check to make sure everything spins freely. One last check over. Done.